Hello, everyone. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm just home chilling, having my pajamas. You know, I'm just gonna get right to it. Like, these WNBA cuts are insane. I've never seen or just heard how much the WNBA been cutting like this. I just can't believe it. Like I would say this past week and a half or two, they've been doing major cuts. And I just feel bad for a lot of the players that have gotten cut. They're great players and they're just cutting good players. There were some players I didn't expect to get cut based on the preseason game that I watched. Um, like Kayana Traylor, she's from Virginia Tech. So she was drafted to the Chicago Sky, and then there was a preseason game against Minnesota Lynx. They played in Canada. Now, Canada had a sellout crowd. So I believe they're going to have a WNBA team in Canada for sure. Kathy Engelberg, I would say, mentioned that in a way that they're definitely going to have a team there in Toronto. But I was shocked to see that Kayana Trailer, excuse me if I said her name wrong, but her name is Kayana Trailer. I believe that she shouldn't have gotten cut because she played one hell of a game against the Minnesota Lynx and they beat the Minnesota Lynx. I was very impressed on how she played. I can't believe they cut her. Like these cuts are just going nuts. And today is supposed to be the last day of cuts. I would say by 5 p.m. today. That's just a cutoff of when they're supposed to be stopping the cuts, and then they're supposed to have their final rosters. I'm just not pleased with a lot of cuts they've been doing this year. They didn't do that last season, but this year they're just going bogus with these cuts. And I'm just afraid for the upcoming players that are coming for the 2024 draft. I mean, if I'm in their shoes, if I'm still playing college ball and I'm supposed to enter the draft for next year, that would make me nervous as to whether or not, if you're going to draft me and then I'm drafted and I'm going to get cut. That's very scary for the new draft class for next year. And for them, and if they are nervous about it, I wouldn't blame them because they've just been cutting like hell this year. I don't even think they've been cutting like that the past few years, but they're really tripping right now. And I've seen like every day, I'm on social media trying to keep up with what's going on with the WNBA, and all I see are a lot of people saying expansion, expansion. It's time for expansion. They're not doing expansion to like another 2 or 3 years. I just hope they don't push it back. And I know, you're probably tired of hearing people say expansion, expansion. But I'm going to say it again. They need expansion now. This league been around long enough to know that they should have expanded years ago. They had teams that they dropped. They had Miami Soul, they had Orlando Miracle, they had the Houston Comets, which gave them like championships after championships. They need to bring back the Houston Comets. I don't know how many teams are going to have within 2 to 3 years, but at least like this year, they could have added one more team. Start off with one team, and then the next year, do one team at a time each year. At least do that. If you don't want to bring in 3 or 4 teams a year, at least start off with one team a year. But it's just going bogus, and just because these women made the roster, that don't mean they're still safe. So to the women that made the WNBA roster, you still need to be on your A game because they can cut you throughout the season. I'm just keeping it real. Excuse me for coughing. Because I know there were players from last season who made the roster, and throughout the season they were cutting them. Like for instance, I think Avina Westbrook, she's gotten waived again. And, I'm not saying I'm not surprised, but I mean, it's just to the point now. Some of these players just need to say the hell with it, go overseas, make their money, or they want to see if they're going to get a spot on the WNBA roster. I mean, you can't depend on it. You just got to figure out, what you need to do at this point. If you want to continue playing basketball, I would say just go overseas, get your game right. If you really want to make this WNBA roster, so it's tough. It's really tough this year, and I feel bad for a lot of them that got cut. Like Alexis Morris. Alexis Morris is a great player. I don't think she should have got cut from Connecticut Sun though. I don't think she should have got cut at all. And who else? Bree Bill got cut. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. She got cut. Who else got cut? It was just so many that got cut. It's just ridiculous right now. Then another player, Ray Burrell, got cut from the Sparks. I was surprised to see she got cut from the Sparks because I thought she was a good player, like on Tennessee. Then she was on the Sparks team last year, so I thought she had a chance of just remaining on the team, but obviously they cut her. And then you have some people who we already know are not going to get caught. I'm sorry, are not going to get cut, such as Aaliyah Boston. We know Aaliyah Boston. I knew she wasn't going to get cut. I mean, no doubt about it. And then you have Destiny Henderson. I was like, But in a way, I thought, I was like, well, maybe, I was kind of iffy about her because I had a feeling they were probably going to cut her, and then it turned out they did cut her because it just seemed like they weren't really giving her the minutes or the playing time that she needed. So I kind of had that feeling they were going to cut her, and then all of a sudden they cut her. So, I mean, I hope, all of them that got cut, I hope they do land on the team. I don't wish bad on none of them. I mean, it's tough. It really is. If I were them, I wouldn't even feel bad because they're not the only ones. It's like millions of them that got cut. So they'll land a spot for sure. It's just going to take some time. And, these women that did make the rosters, that don't mean they're going to remain on the team. Like I said, they could get cut throughout the season. They'll play in May, they'll play in June, July. They can cut them because that's what happened to Avina Westbrook when I believe she was placed on the team, and throughout the season they cut her, and then she was on another team, and then they cut her. So this was happening to her throughout the season. So don't think because these ladies made the roster today after 5 p.m. that doesn't mean that they set. They still got to be on their A game throughout the season because you never know. Anything may happen. In the WNBA, they seem like they're not, excuse my language, they're not bullshitting with these girls. Like, you gotta come with it. The WNBA, it's not college. You in the pros. Welcome to the real world. It's a fast-paced game. And then you have some girls that were supposed to enter the draft, they decided to use their 5th year of college. And when they made that decision to use their 5th year of college, I just felt that, well, why would they want to do that? Or, with some, I felt that they should have declared for the draft. And then now, with all this going on with the cutting, I'm saying, well, maybe they made the best decision to do their 5th year because they're doing all this cutting. And even top, like, number 1 draft picks that were in the round 1, top picks are getting, they're getting shoved, they're getting cut. So, the ladies that decided to do their 5th year eligibility, I don't blame you. It's saying, what's the rush? Because they're, and I know they're seeing they cutting all these ladies from the WNBA team, and they're already saying, wow, I made the best decision. So that is the best decision. So at least they know what to look forward to for next year, if they decide to enter the draft. Because after their 5th year eligibility, they're gonna have no choice but to either enter the draft or go overseas. But at least by them doing their 5th year, they're seeing how all these ladies are getting cut. So that'll give them a whole year to think about, you know, if going to the WNBA is necessary. Is it worth it? And the WNBA, they need to do better by these ladies. It's just so much talent out there that a lot of them are just getting disappointed. And they need to just stop drafting these ladies to these teams and then they cutting them. Don't have them go to New York for the draft. They on television, excited with their families, and then the next thing you know, you cutting them. That is just disappointing, because if that was me, I would just be hurt by that. I know that a lot of them felt hurt by that. They went to the draft, they got excited, they got on the team, and then they get cut. That's very hurtful. I'm not in their shoes to feel what they feel, but if it was me, I would feel very hurt. If I'm going to the draft, I get drafted, I would say maybe top 10 pick, and then all of a sudden you cut me. That would be hurtful for me. I would feel hurt. I don't know how they feel. And I'm sure they feel some type of sadness. They're not going to say it, but I'm sure they're feeling a little down, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. They just have to, keep their heads up. It's just tough. And, it's not college ball anymore. It's different. And, just tell me what you think about the WNBA cuts. What teams do you think they should add on the list within another year or two or another 3 years? I personally think they should add a Philadelphia team. And on another note, I just wonder if Dawn Staley is going to coach the WNBA. I believe she should coach the WNBA. I don't know how long she plans on staying with South Carolina, but if she do coach the WNBA, they should have a Philadelphia team, because I know she's from Philly. And I'm sure she wouldn't mind coaching a Philly team, that would be with the WNBA. That would be cool if she do coach the WNBA, because she could get all her Gamecock players together. So I hope Don do go that way to the Women's Pro League. That would be good. So we'll see what happens in the future. We don't know what the future hold right now. It's a lot of surprises with the WNBA that come just about every day. So they need a Philly team. I think they need to bring back a Miami team. We already have an LA team, so we're good on that. But we should also have another California team. Just like, we have the LA Clippers, that's in California. Then we have the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think another California team would be good. We did have the Sacramento Monarchs years ago, but they took that team out. But we need to bring another California team back that represent Cali. We have Philadelphia, another California team. That would be second to the Sparks. We should have, what other team we should have? I wouldn't say Orlando, nah. I would, because we had Orlando Miracle. I don't think they were making money. It's the reason why they decided to just shut down the league. I mean, not shut down the league, but, disband the team. Or how should I say it? Just not have the team anymore. Delete it out. So Orlando team, I'm not really sure about that. I would say more of a Miami team. We have a Vegas team, because everyone loves to go to Vegas. Philly, okay, I'm going to say it again. Philly, Miami, another California team. That's 3. Toronto for sure, that's 4. And let me see. I can't think of any other teams right now, but if you know any other teams that should be added on the list, just drop it down in the comments on willing to hear your feedback and your concerns about these cuts because it's just bogus right now. So the WNBA season start tomorrow. I will be watching for sure because there's so much going on tomorrow night. So since they're gonna be showing them on TV now, I would suggest watch the games to see how these players play. And have a good night.